you better believe that if a great deal comes across their nose for whatever reason, and everybody else from us to Jeff Bezos, everybody in between can gather a bunch of money pretty quickly for a deal they can get behind financially.
We are Stephen and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
we answer that and more. What would you do with limitless capital? This is why you're listening.
Do a lot of property shopping.
Let me paint a picture for you. This is what happens with new people, and it's exactly what not to do, and it's exactly what I did in the beginning incorrectly. I looked at my checking account. I said there's $8,000 in there, so I sent out a mailer targeting $8,000 property or $5,000 property or $3,000 property because that's all the money I had. And guess what happened? That's what I got. I started buying those properties and happily went along the way building this tiny little fortune that Jill and I have. What if I, or anybody who starts out, says, you know what, fictitiously, I have $40 million in my bank account. What kind of mail am I going to send out now? And what you're going to send out is crazy, profitable, unbelievable deals. And you're going to find them. Just like you find the little ones, you find the big ones too. No matter how big it gets, someone's going to get a letter that you sent, and they're going to open it and say, you know what? I do want to sell this office building or this farmland or whatever it is, as large as it is. And so they're going to call you back and say, 14 million bucks sounds fine. And you know it's worth 20. You know you can sell it next week for $20 million. So just because you don't have the money doesn't mean the deal stops there. What you do is get in the business of raising capital. And we have many people who have caught on to this. I don't think a single one of them is still with us because they got too rich too fast on this whole concept.
It's true.
And so those are two, I don't need to finish the story. Those are two opposite extremes, the $5,000 option and the $20 million option. What really happens with land is this. You have $8,000 in your checking account, but you start sending out mail at $80,000, $100,000, and you call people like us or in our group or us specifically for deal funding. And you say, I got this $80,000 property under contract. I'm extremely confident wholesale it's worth $200,000. I don't have the dough. Can you guys fund me? And that's it. That's it. You had limitless capital. My point is this. You do have limitless capital. You have limitless capital. There are some people, what's missing is not the capital. What's missing are the awesome transactions, are the incredibly profitable deals. I've long said this sentence. I'll say it again. There's way more money out there than talent. So if you're sitting here listening to this somewhere, just like I was sitting around in my apartment 25 years ago, saying, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I don't have any money and I have a terrible job and nobody likes me because I didn't meet Jill yet.
Thank you.
All you got to do is send a bunch of mail out and get real organized and focused. And if you find any version of a good real estate deal, especially now, this entire group is packed full of loaded people, have a bunch of money. A lot of cases, way, way more money than Jill and I have. They're not going to let a good acquisition, go to waste.
Yep.
A lot of people think that being wealthy is looking at their checking account and saying, wow, I have $10 million in the bank. That has nothing to do with it. It's all stock options and access to capital and back end financing. A lot of it's private equity. So all these people that make the Wall Street Journal and these millennials just love Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They just love them. I'll never understand it. They're addicted to these personalities, and all those guys don't have any money. They have hordes and hordes and hordes of assets, namely in the form of stock and stock options for companies that they took public. And so you better believe that if a great deal comes across their nose for whatever reason, and everybody else from us to Jeff Bezos, everybody in between can gather a bunch of money pretty quickly for a deal they can get behind financially.
That was exactly I had 2 points. One is, how do I start? And that's one deal at a time.
Oh,
like
good.
you just
That's
said,
good, Jill.
the deal speaks for itself. It's got to be that good of a deal.
It doesn't matter who you are, what your experience level is. You come to somebody like us or, anybody who can afford to do this and say, I got this deal. We can't let this go to waste. Once we look up at the deal and go, oh my God, he's right. Done. We're done. And we're all going to do this together. And then my second point was, how do you get to our level where it's like the phone calls are easier? People take your calls. It's like, they're watching for your calls almost. It's called history. You prove yourself. You do deal after deal after deal. Keep doing these things. Word will get out. Trust me. And then people, when you call, they'll answer. You call me, I'll answer. I've got a few people that we, I do deal funding. This is something that we do, period. And it doesn't matter if you're a member of Land Academy or not. I don't care because no good deal should go to waste. So you submit it to us, and I look at the deal. We're doing it.
It's got to be a great deal.
And I've got a few people too that it's like they've proven themselves. So when they come to me, I'm taking their call, and it's great because we've built up this reputation. Now, there's a few things that I double check as we go into it, but I don't go through nearly the process that I do with somebody new because I want to make sure, which is everybody does this. And that's just how you do it. Just keep doing it. And it's great because, it's not your money. This is like you said, and I love that. That's one of the beauties of our community, what we built up, the level that we're at and what we can take down. I'm so happy to be able to report to people coming into Land Academy. You don't have to have your own money to fund your deals. Finding the right deals, we're going to fund them. And that's like we share it with our group because there's so many deals that come up with all of us. We've gotten so good at sending out their mailers and finding these deals. Most of our community people are running out of money. So we've made Land Tank and we made House Tank. Those are two places that you as a member can post your properties and someone will fund them for you within our group.
Every single deal where I get a notice that somebody posts something on Land Tank or House Tank, by the time that I click through, we own the website.
Yeah.
By the time I get in there and look at it, it's gone.
Yeah. It's usually grabbed quickly. It's funny. It's awesome.
If you take anybody who owns, let's say, more than 3 like-kind assets in any market, it might be land, and this is any market. If they own 3 separate parcels of farmland in Iowa, if they own 3 strip malls in Los Angeles, 3 small apartment buildings or large apartment buildings in Wisconsin, any market, I don't care where it is, they're in that business. And they live and die by the next deal. They're constantly looking for next deals, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And if you find their contact information and call them and say this sentence, Mr. Smith, I know you own these 3 apartment buildings right in this area. I have another one. I'm talking with the seller or I have it under contract to buy. You seem like a very, very logical person to buy this or fund it with me or be my partner on it. Because I'm telling you, I'm paying less for this than you did yours because you can see all the data, especially on commercial real estate. What do you think that guy's going to do? I don't care what he's doing at that moment. He's going to drop what he's doing and call you and say, yeah, I would love to buy a building with you if it is what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about at the tip top of the universe of real estate owners. This is what they do. They live and die by acquisitions and in some cases divestitures. And it works for companies the same way. I bought and sold companies early on and realized real estate was easier and in some cases most cases more profitable and less volatile. So get your confidence is what I'm saying. And you're going to just focus on getting good deals and forget about the money and you're going to have more money than you know what to do with.
That's perfect. Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us on the Land Academy Show. We're Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.